All right, so today we're diving into the world of zinnias, but more specifically, we're looking at how their blooms change over time.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was just reading this blog post on qianmeng.org
Oh,
by, he calls himself an old software plumber, but he's also like a passionate gardener, right?
yeah.
And he's been noticing that his bicolor zinnia elegans are, well, they're fading after just a few weeks.
Yeah.
And he was really struck by the difference. Like he even included a side-by-side photo comparison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really dramatic, the before and after.
I bet.
So he's got some theories, but I thought it would be great to, bring in some real expertise
Yeah.
to help us unpack this whole color changing mystery.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a classic case of a gardener just, observing the natural life cycle of a plant.
Right, all right.
But what I find interesting is how he's kind of zeroed in on these two main culprits, right? Aging and environmental conditions.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely on the right track there.
He even points out, like, once pollination happens, the plant's focus completely shifts to seed production.
Exactly.
It's almost like, the zinnia saying, mission accomplished, time to bring on the next generation.
Right. And that shift in priorities means resources get diverted,
Mm.
you know. Instead of pouring energy into those vibrant colors, the plant's like, okay, I'm going to invest in creating seeds to make sure my legacy continues. Pretty brilliant when you think about it.
Yeah, it really is. So it's not that the colors are, like, literally fading, right? It's more like the plant is producing fewer pigments.
You got it. It's like turning down the volume on the color show, so to
I
speak.
love that analogy.
And speaking of pigments, he specifically mentioned anthocyanins, carotenoids, and flavonoids. Each of those plays a unique role in creating those, really vibrant hues we associate with zinnias.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised by how many different pigments are involved, It's not just one simple thing.
Not at all. The final color we see is really a result of like this complex interplay of all these different compounds.
Yeah.
Some are more stable than others, and they all react differently to environmental factors.
Which explains why the color can change over time.
Exactly, exactly. And speaking of environmental factors,
Mm.
he mentioned that things like temperature fluctuations and stress can lead to, kind of premature fading.
It really makes you wonder, like, how much control do we really have as gardeners? I
Yeah.
mean, we can nurture them, but ultimately it's up to the plant to decide what it wants to do.
It's a collaboration, you know?
That's a good way to put it.
We provide the environment, but the plant's the artist.
I like that. And he also briefly touched on the role of sunlight, too, right?
Absolutely. And, different pigments respond differently to sunlight.
Especially those intense UV rays.
Exactly. That's where things get really interesting.
But wait, wouldn't the time of day and where you are geographically also impact how those pigments react to sunlight?
That's a great question. And it leads us to this really fascinating concept of pigment sensitivity
Hmm.
and how that influences the appearance of a zinnia bloom.
Okay, so pigment sensitivity.
Hmm.
So tell me more about that.
Well,
Yeah. So these pigments are really sensitive, huh?
they are.
So I guess like location matters a lot, right? Like a zinnia in Arizona, it's got to be totally different from a zinnia in, say, Maine, right?
Exactly. It's not just about the presence or absence of sunlight, You got to think about the intensity, the duration of exposure.
Oh, okay.
Like think about the angle of the sun throughout the day, the time of year, even things like cloud cover.
Mm.
The zinnia basking under that intense Arizona sun, it's going to experience a whole different kind of UV breakdown than its counterpart, enjoying the gentler rays of Maine.
Wow. So it's like this delicate dance, right, between the plant's internal processes and the environment, like wherever it happens to be.
It is, and that's, part of what makes gardening so captivating, right? It's
Yeah.
this constant process of observation, adaptation.
And surrender, right. I mean, we can try to control the environment, but
Well,
like
absolutely.
nature has the final say.
It reminds me of that old saying, we don't grow the garden grows us.
I love that.
It's humbling.
It is. It really is. And it kind of ties back to our software plumber and his fading zinnias.
Yeah, he's noticed these changes and he's trying to like understand them,
Yes.
right? And he's really not that far off, with his theories about aging and environmental conditions.
It sounds like he's really approaching this with like a problem-solving mindset.
He is.
But maybe instead of seeing it as a problem, like what if he saw these changes as just a natural part of the plant's life cycle? I mean, the faded blooms, they might not be as like visually appealing,
Right.
but maybe they're a sign of something, something wonderful happening beneath the surface.
Exactly. The zinnia is not failing. It's just shifting its priorities.
Yeah.
Those faded blooms could actually lead to a bumper crop of seeds, and that's ensuring the continuation of its lineage. It's all about perspective.
Right. Yeah, it really is. And I guess, like, thinking about it, this whole fading zinnia thing, it kind of reveals a bigger story, right?
It does.
About, like, the interconnectedness, of these tiny pigments, sunlight, and even your choices as a gardener.
That's right. And it's fascinating because this, like, seemingly simple observation, it actually opens up this whole world of questions and possibilities, right?
Like what?
Well, for example, like, if we understand how these pigments react to, different environmental factors, could we, like, manipulate those factors to our advantage?
Ooh, now you're talking. Like, could you actually extend the vibrant stage of a bloom or, even, like, influence its color intensity?
Exactly. Imagine being able to, like, fine-tune the environment to create the most, vibrant, long-lasting blooms possible.
That would be amazing.
It's a challenge, but it's also, an incredible opportunity for exploration and discovery. It really takes gardening to a whole new level.
It's like we're all mad scientists in the garden now.
Yeah, but with flowers instead of bubbling beakers.
Exactly. So I guess to kind of wrap things up here, what's like the big takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the key message here is that even something as, seemingly simple as a fading flower, it's actually this incredibly complex interplay of factors.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that there's always more than meets the eye, and that curiosity and a little research can go a long way in, deepening our understanding of the natural world.
And maybe even inspire us to, experiment a little and see what we can discover in our own gardens.
Exactly.
So the next time you notice a flower changing color, don't just dismiss it, Embrace the mystery, see where it leads you. And with that, we'll leave you to ponder those possibilities. Happy gardening, everyone. Yeah, it really is. It's like a whole new level. Like we're partners with nature now, not just,
Exactly.
planting and hoping for the best.
It all starts with that observation, though, right? Like our software plumber noticing his zinnias fading. That simple act of noticing can lead to a much deeper understanding of these incredible plants.
And maybe even some breakthroughs, in how we approach gardening
Oh, absolutely.
as a whole.
Think about it. If we can manipulate, like, environmental factors to influence color,
Right.
what other possibilities are there? Could we extend the blooming period?
Wow.
Create entirely new color variations.
Yeah.
I mean, the potential is really exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Makes
Right.
you wonder if there's like this whole secret world of gardening techniques just waiting to be discovered.
I think there is. And it's all about, asking those questions, experimenting, and then sharing what we find with others.
Right, right.
Just like our software plumber did with his blog post.
Yeah, and I bet he's inspiring tons of other gardeners to take a closer look at their zinnias
Exactly.
and ask their own questions.
And that's what's so great about it, right? It's this never-ending journey of discovery.
It really is.
So, as you continue on your own zinnia adventures, remember that even the most subtle changes, they can hold really valuable insights.
They can. So keep those eyes peeled, those gardening gloves on, and those curiosity gears turning.
Keep them turning.
Who knows what amazing things you might uncover right in your own backyard. So that's it for today's deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
But keep those Zinnia questions coming, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world of plants.
Happy gardening, everyone.